If you are looking to get a bigger pump in the gym, the type of pre-workout you choose can make a big difference. I know this because I've tested over 30 different pre-workouts over the last few years, most of which I reviewed on the 𝗣𝗑𝗁 Good YouTube channel. The crazy part is that for some of the pre-workouts that claim to work for muscle pumps, I barely felt any effect. This is why you can sometimes not trust the marketing behind these products. However, I've personally tested each pre-workout on this list and can verify that they do work well for maximizing muscle pumps. Let's first go through the list. I've included 2 products that are caffeine-free and that are strictly pump products. For these products, don't expect to get any significant performance benefits outside muscle pumps, like increases in strength or energy. Then I've included 2 products that are considered more of your well-rounded pre-workouts, one with a moderate amount of caffeine and one with a high amount of caffeine. Both provide excellent muscle pumps as well as some other general performance benefits. I've then also included 2 honorable mentions that, based on my testing, did provide excellent muscle pumps. For some reason, I got some negative side effects, mostly stomach upset. I include them on the list only because side effects are personal. So even though I experienced some digestive upset, you may not experience the same thing. As such, they're worth mentioning because I did get great muscle pumps from them, and I'll talk about these 2 at the very end of the video. Before we get into the products, we first got to go over the key criteria used. Number 1, effective pump ingredients. I looked at whether or not the pre-workout contained ingredients that are proven to be effective for nitric oxide production in the body, which ultimately increases your muscle pump. For example, these ingredients can include L-citrulline, arginine, agmatine, beta-alanine, and betaine anhydrous. Number 2, effective doses. Another criteria I looked for was whether their clinical doses present of the key ingredients meant for increasing pump. You wouldn't want to consider a product that has the right ingredients for increasing muscle pumps, but fails to dose those ingredients at the proper amounts that have been proven to be effective in research trials. And number 3, rated 5 out of 5 for pump by us, 𝗣𝗑𝗁𝗏.com. Last but not least, I went through all my notes from the 30 plus pre-workouts I've tested, and I only picked pre-workout products where I rated 5 out of 5 for the pump category. Let's first start off with the non-caffeinated pump pre-workouts. The first one is Transparent Labs Pump. Now, TL Pump is a caffeine-free and stimulant-free pre-workout that includes nitric oxide boosting ingredients. This is going to be a great pre-workout choice for anyone who wants a pre-workout that prioritizes pump but also wants to cycle off and avoid caffeine or stimulants. This product comes at an affordable price, especially when considering its quality. It costs $1.66 per serving, which is just slightly above the average pre-workout of about $1.61. It contains clinical doses of nitric oxide boosters like citrulline and arginine, which are your classic pump ingredients. However, estrogen is another ingredient that is found in Transparent Labs Pump and has been shown to actually enhance the effects of ingredients like citrulline, since it can greatly increase the absorption of amino acids in the body. Pump also contains 2 ingredients that are not typically found in pre-workouts, L-glutathione and biofolate. When L-glutathione is paired with L-citrulline, it has been shown to keep nitric oxide levels elevated for 30 minutes post-exercise, helping to boost recovery and give you a pump that lasts longer after your workout. Biofolate is another pump ingredient, which has been shown to increase nitric oxide production by converting more arginine into the nitric oxide, giving you a better pump. This product only contains 7 ingredients and uses natural ingredients like stevia leaf extract for sweetness instead of the artificial sweeteners. The low number of ingredients is actually good because this means you'll less likely experience negative side effects. In addition to this, TL is a company that takes pride in utilizing third-party testing of all of its products in quality and purity. And these results can be easily viewed at any time online. We'll link that down below. This means you can trust what's on the label and is actually in the product, which is actually going into your body, giving you the peace of mind and confidence in the quality of what you're consuming. Let's now go through my experience. The first thing I noticed when mixing up this pre-workout was the bright blue color from the blue spirulina. Even though it was quite foamy when I first mixed it, it settled into a nice drinkable texture, and while the taste was a bit bitter, it didn't catch me off guard, as I have found this with most pump products that I've tried lately. As expected, I didn't experience any noticeable increases in energy or strength. However, I did notice an improvement in my stamina and recovery, which I was really pleased with. This pump product truly lived up to its name for me. I noticed both muscle volume and vascularity improvements during most of my workouts. I experienced the pump benefits more so during workouts that were later in the day, as I had consumed more food and water. This made a difference compared to my fasted morning workouts where my pump was less noticeable. I also noticed more of a pump in my delts, glutes, and arms, but that's likely because my training has more isolation exercises focused on these body parts. If you want the benefits of increased strength and energy alongside a good pump, I recommend pairing the Transparent Lab pump with a high-quality stimulant-based pre-workout. For example, something like TL Bulk, which I've done with great success. My recommendation is to start with a full scoop of pump and then a half scoop of bulk. Now, before I move on to the next pre-workout, I just wanted to let you all know that any of the products that I talk about today, I will link them down below in the description box and pinned comment. Good news for you is that I've already done all the research on where to find the best deals to all these products, so you don't need to. And I occasionally update the description box to keep the deals fresh. So anytime you're watching this video, today, tomorrow, maybe in 6 months or a year, it should still have the most current deal. The next product I want to talk about, next pre-workout, is Gorilla Mode Nitric. Now, Gorilla Mode Nitric is another stimulant-free pre-workout and is among one of the highest dose pre-workouts on the market. For example, it contains a whopping 10,000 milligrams of nitric oxide boosting ingredient L-citrulline, which well exceeds what is exceeded and needed for clinical dosing. If you are taking 2 scoops, the tub contains 40 servings. However, if you choose only to take 1 scoop, you are still getting a sufficient dose of the ingredients to help support muscle endurance, recovery, and a good pump. Gorilla Mode Nitric contains an ingredient called Glycer Pump, which is trademarked. Glycer Pump, otherwise known as glycerol, helps to balance water both inside and outside of the cells and can help to maintain hydration. When paired with nitric oxide boosting ingredients like citrulline and agmatine, it will help to deliver great muscle pumps. Gorilla Mode contains another patented ingredient called nitrosogene, which is made from arginine and is engineered to help increase nitric oxide production in the body, giving you more of that pump. Now, cost-wise, this pre-workout is the most expensive pre-workout I've tested if you are opting for the 2 scoop serving. This product's cost per serving is $3 per 2 scoops, which is much higher than the average pre-workout cost at $1.61 per serving. If you lower your serving size down to 1.5 scoops, you are still getting clinical doses of key ingredients, and the cost goes down to about $2. Let's now talk about my experiences while taking this product. I found that Gorilla Mode Nitric really came through in terms of increased muscle pump, and I also noticed substantial increases in my strength. Since this pre-workout is caffeine free, I found it to be really great to use for my evening workouts. I saw an increase in my strength when I was performing my accessory and isolation exercises in the gym, kind of similar to pump. After performing exercises like glute bridges or bicep curls and tricep extensions, I noticed a really great aesthetic pump. Personally, when I use this pre-workout for my morning workouts, I was really missing the increased energy that I normally get from a stimulant pre-workout. For this reason, I found this product to be great for evening training sessions. It is also a great product for those who are very sensitive to caffeine and want to avoid it. I didn't mind the taste. I tried the lemonade flavor, but I really disliked the gritty texture. I found the texture to be the most gritty when I went to a 2 scoop serving. Adding extra water to your mix helps slightly. Gorilla Mode recommends adding the scoops to 2 cups of water. Now, onto the next category of pre-workouts and the next pre-workout, of course. We're getting into now the caffeinated pump pre-workouts. And the next one that I want to talk about on this list is going to be Ryse Godzilla pre-workout. Now, Ryse Godzilla is a high-performance stimulant pre-workout, and while it was just falls short of meeting clinical doses for every single key ingredient in a single scoop, it easily meets the criteria when you increase 2 scoop serving. Per 1 scoop serving, this pre-workout costs $1.42, making it a very affordable pre-workout compared to others on the market. However, if you opt for 2 scoops, the price will be $2.84 per serving, making it one of the more expensive products on the market. 1 scoop of Ryse contains 200 milligrams of caffeine and 5.5 milligrams of citrulline, along with clinical doses of key ingredients like beta-alanine and betaine. Beta-alanine helps delay fatigue. Betaine helps convert fat into energy. In addition to this, Ryse also contains a clinical dose of Vasodrive-AP. Vasodrive-AP has been clinically proven to have positive effects, such as decreasing inflammation, providing an intra-workout pump, reducing fatigue and muscle soreness, and improving recovery and cognitive function. This pre-workout also contains caffeine in 2 different forms: quick-acting caffeine anhydrous and 𝗪𝗡 extended release caffeine. This effective combination allows fast-acting energy to last. Ryse Godzilla comes in 5 unique flavors: blue raspberry, passion pineapple, monster berry lime, blackberry lemonade, and strawberry kiwi. Now on to my experience while taking this. I tested Ryse Godzilla using a range of serving sizes, beginning at about half a scoop, going all the way up to 2 scoops. I personally started to notice the positive effects at about 1 to 1.5 scoops of product. While the ingredients are listed per 1 scoop serving on this pre-workout, those more experienced with pre-workouts will likely want to increase their serving to 1.5 to 2 scoops in order to get a clinical dose of every key ingredient. I was really impressed with the increases in strength and performance while using this pre-workout, and I found it gave me energy without making me feel buzzy, which can be a side effect with other pre-workouts. While I expected to feel extremely itchy from the high dose of beta-alanine, I actually found the tingling to be quite subtle. It was never enough to be distracting during my workout. I noticed that the ingredients on the website did vary slightly for this product depending on the flavor that you choose. I tested passion pineapple, so that is what I listed for the ingredients. Finally, while I did love the pump, the strength, and the energy improvements from this pre-workout, I did experience very minor digestive side effects, which others also experienced based on the product reviews that I found online. The side effects didn't disturb my workout though. It was only after my workout that I felt like I had to go to the washroom. The next pre-workout is going to be Legion Pulse pre-workout. Now, Legion Pulse is a high stim pre-workout that uses simple yet effective ingredients that provides a good pump along with increased mental focus and energy. It contains clinical doses of ingredients such as citrulline, malate, beta-alanine, betaine, L-theanine, and alpha-GPC. Talking specifically about L-theanine, this is a unique ingredient that is not found in any other pre-workouts on this list. It is an amino acid that can be naturally found in tea along with some mushrooms and can help to promote relaxation without making you drowsy. It is especially effective when paired with caffeine, since this combination can help to improve mental focus and reduce any jitters that are normally felt with caffeine. It is important to note that this product is very high in caffeine at about 350 milligrams and should be used by those with experience with high stim pre's. The Legion brand uses all natural ingredients and avoids using artificial flavors, colors, and sweeteners in their products. Legion also uses third-party testing for all their products, giving you added peace of mind about the quality of what you are purchasing. It is a pricier pre-workout at $2.25 per 2 scoop serving, but it does provide excellent quality in terms of ingredients and clinical dosing. If you wanted to benefit from the clinical doses of L-citrulline, beta-alanine, betaine, and alpha-GPC without the heavy hit of caffeine, you could try mixing 1 scoop of Legion Pulse with a 1 scoop of Legion Pulse stim-free formula. This combination only contains 175 milligrams of caffeine. Now, my experience. I personally love this product and tested it for several weeks. I experimented with mixing this product with the Legion Pulse stim-free pre-workout during times when I wanted the benefits of the clinically dosed ingredients without as much caffeine. I found that this pre-workout gave me amazing energy and focus. I was so impressed by the great muscle pump I got during my workout and how strong I felt. Even with longer duration workouts, like longer than an hour or so, I found that Legion Pulse worked amazing and helped with my strength and endurance. I even noticed that I was able to increase my weight in some of my last sets when I would normally feel pretty gassed. I also noticed faster recovery between sets, which allowed me to increase my overall volume. I really loved the fruit punch flavor that I tried. It had a tart flavor, but not very sour. I also found that it mixed really easily with water, and I didn't have any leftover residue that I was constantly having to remix. The only reason I had to shift away from using this pre-workout exclusively was because of its high caffeine content. There were certain instances when I didn't want to have that much caffeine, such as workouts that were later in the day, or if I had already had a cup of coffee earlier in that same day. With the FDA recommending that the safe upper limit for caffeine is 400 milligrams, there is not much room in your day for any other sources of caffeine like tea or energy drinks if you are taking the full 2 scoop dose. If you are unsure of your caffeine tolerance, I would recommend starting slower with this product at 1 scoop and slowly waking your way up. Now let's go through quickly a few honorable mentions that I think deserve this list. I did an insane muscle pump with both of these pre-workouts, but I also felt sick while testing them. That doesn't mean you will, as side effects vary by individual. I always recommend starting with a half serving of any new pre-workout to assess tolerance and then go up. The first honorable mention is Kaged Elite. This is a high stim advanced pre-workout, not for beginners. It's pricey at $3 per serving and packs 20 plus ingredients for energy, strength, endurance, recovery, pump, and focus. However, I experience severe nausea and emergency bathroom trips despite feeling strong in my workouts. Not ideal for those with a low caffeine tolerance. The second honorable mention is going to be Wrecked pre-workout. This is also a high stim pump focused pre-workout with 31 ingredients and 325 milligrams of caffeine per serving. While advertised as 40 servings per tub, a full clinical dose requires 2 scoops, reducing it to 20 servings at $2.50 each. It delivers a euphoric mood boost, prolonged energy, and an impressive pump, but I also had frequent bathroom trips. So these are the 2 honorable mentions. That about wraps up my review on the best pre-workouts for pump. If you're wanting to learn more about the first one I talked about, which was Transparent Lab Pump, I've done a dedicated video on which you could watch up here in this corner right now. I'll also link it down below for you all to watch a little bit later. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.